Welcome to our crowd webinar today. I am Liat Zverlev, investment partner at our crowd, and today we are going to talk about spatial computing and meet a few innovative companies in this space. Before we start, we just wanted to apologize. We had a few technical questions regarding email reminders and registrations. We're really glad you all could make it and join us today. So first, let's start with the basics. What is spatial computing? Many of you are familiar with the term virtual reality, a computer-generated simulation allowing a person a complete immersion in a virtual space. And with augmented reality, projection of virtual object on top of a real physical world. Mixed reality combines the two, and extended reality, or XR, has become the umbrella definition for all the three. Spatial computing is an even broader term, mostly referring to XR technologies, but represent any interaction between a physical world and the virtual world, any representation of physical world in the virtual world, and vice versa. Today, we have 4 innovative companies, 3 startups and 1 customer of one of these companies, that will help us understand how spatial computing can affect our lives in different aspects and revolutionize industries such as retail, defense, gaming, social media, and more. We will hear from ByondXR that replicates physical world experiences, such as browsing in stores and discovering products in virtual store. We will discuss with Edgybees, which is taking elements of spatial computing and using it to save lives by taking real-time feeds from drones and real-time sources and lay on top of that mission-critical information to enable defense, public safety, and others to accomplish life-saving quickly and safely. We will also hear from Tetavi that captures physical objects in volumetric form and inject them into the virtual world. And lastly, we will talk to one of their customers, NTT Docomo out of Japan, that will share with us from the customer perspective how they think these technologies can transform their own business. We have a lot to cover, so let's start. First, we'll hear from ByondXR, which has developed an immersive virtual commerce platform to create engaging, interactive stores and showrooms to give retailers and brands a competitive edge in a $4 trillion global online shopping market. ByondXR platform is already being used by tier-1 brands such as Lancome, Coca-Cola, P&G, Mitsubishi, and others. Let's start by taking a quick look at a visual look at what ByondXR can do. Welcome to Noam Levavi, co-founder and CEO of ByondXR. Noam, thank you for joining us. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hey, hi everyone. Good morning, good evening. Thanks, Liat and our crowd for inviting me to talk about this exciting topic. So I'm Noam Levavi, co-founder and CEO at ByondXR. And for the past 2 decades, I've been building the experiential technologies with a goal to really enhance the human experience. From the first automatic DJ I've developed 20 years ago to empowering the largest video wall in Times Square and around the globe. And today, basically playing with cutting edge XR technologies. With my previous venture, I've been working very closely with some of the top brands like Chanel and Nike and The Gap, helping them really create the best customer experiences in their brick and mortar stores. and overall deployed interactive systems globally that reach more than 100 million people a month. I've been dealing with retail technologies and AR before I think most people even heard this term. And in the past 5 years, I'm leading this phenomenal team at ByondXR that have built a first of its kind platform to really help brands and retailers disrupt e-commerce with new type of immersive virtual experiences. I love to share my knowledge and experience, and be happy to do it here today.
Wonderful, Noam. Thank you. So can you please actually go into more details? Can you explain what ByondXR is doing, how it's using spatial computing in this technology, and what's special about the technology?
Yeah, sure. So we've built a platform that brings the best properties of the physical world into the online world, basically creating a perfect harmony between the two. So we empower brands and retailers to engage their clients by simulating their stores and showrooms in very extremely realistic 3D environments. So showcasing their products like never before. The challenge today with online shopping is that it's not only like a boring and a dull experience, but for many products, the 2D imagery is just not good enough. In physical stores, buyers can inspect product more intuitively. They can get information that really supports their purchasing decision. But when it comes to the online world, it's a whole new playground. Experiences that were originally like built into the physical world are not translating well into the two-dimensional feed and static images. And this is actually where ByondXR come to play. So our solution let buyers navigate intuitively in virtual stores. They can inspect products in this environment and seamlessly bring them into their own physical space to visualize product using our AR capabilities. Spatial computing, brings new ways for consumers to kind of like interact with virtual and actually real objects. And the advances in high fidelity rendering technique the past few years allows to build super photorealistic environment that most people won't even know can say the difference between what's real environment and what's generated by computers. So the unique tech that we're building allows us to take very complex environments with hundreds of 3D models, products, media embedded, different type of information, bringing into a kind of a holistic space, all rendered in the best photorealistic way and streamed into just regular mobile devices and standard web browsers within few seconds. So that's a real breakthrough, and this is why we haven't seen experiences like that before, because it's very difficult to take very heavy, complex environment and basically stream them into just regular devices. We also see significant increase in session expiration time by hundreds of percent, and those experiences improve conversion and basket size. So the overall ROI is really good. So I believe we will see more and more retailers and brands that embrace new type of immersive technology in the upcoming years.
Wonderful. Which industries are you focusing on, specifically in retail? Which type of customers?
Yeah, so we were retail is it's a big industry, and we currently focus on specific sectors. So we've started initially on the fashion, the apparel industry, where we help basically manufacturers and wholesalers display their collections and new styles in virtual showrooms. So all the buying, the B2B buying experience usually happens in physical showroom, and we basically help them to create those virtual showrooms. And then we went to also to kind of tackle this home decor, interior design industry, where you bring a lot of value of visualizing three-dimensional objects in real spaces. So we've been doing this, and recently, specifically the past 6 to 9 months, we've been working with both beauty and luxury brands to help them basically create new type of virtual stores, bringing their flagship stores into an online experience that separate the way that they currently engage with their customers. So that's where we've been focusing lately.
Wonderful. So I understand there are challenges to bring a physical world into a virtual world, but once we're in the virtual world, are there advantages to the virtual world over the physical world in your business?
Yes, of course. So obviously, for certain product, the physical will always give a better experience. So when I go and buy a fruit or a vegetable, I hold a tomato in my hand. I prefer to look and feel the product before I buy them. But for most consumer goods, the experience online can provide really huge benefits. So, for example, when someone is looking for a new furniture, say a new sofa for their living room, it's very difficult to imagine, how a specific furniture will look like in my own living room and how it's going to fit like with the other products that I have there or furniture. So consumer wants to understand like sizings and color match and other properties to support their decision making of purchasing a product. Using AR, for example, you can bring a set of sofas into your physical like living room, and just by dragging them, to the right space, the right spot in your living room, using your smartphone, you can place them and actually realize the real size and colors and how it's all matched together in your living room. This type of technology gives a much better understanding of the product and increase conversion by hundreds of percent, like according to House and some of these big home decor platform. When people use AR in general, that increase engagement and conversion in significant, like double, sometimes hundreds of percent. Yeah.
Great. So you've been looking into this space and working in this space for quite some time. So when you think about spatial computing in general, what excites you the most, and how do you think it will evolve in the future?
Yeah, that's a good one. So in general, like human machine interface and like immersive experiences excites me. That's what I've been doing all my life. Um, how we can use digital environments and devices to enhance the human experience, basically. And we see advances in technology, and what we're looking for basically is to utilize all the latest tech and come with a new type of technology to enhance the human experience. So although there was like a huge progress the past few years, we're only at the beginning of it. It's the beginning of the journey. Introducing new type of computing platform will have basically take the journey out of this like flatland, from 2D to like 3D interfaces. It's really difficult to predict how quickly the tech will evolve and be massively adopted, but we have a good sense of actually where it's going. And currently there are like separate domains. So we talk about AR, VR, MR, XR, all the wearable devices, AI, tracking devices, and other. But in the next few years, what we're going to see, it's not only a huge advances in those specific domains, but also the way that they're all going to merge together. And this is when we'll have a giant leap, to kind of a new reality, the way that we consumers gonna consume media and buy product. Again, it's difficult to imagine it today, but it's not so far into the future. And most of us will enjoy this new tech in the next few years. It starts like with external devices and sensors, as we see today, like AR, VR glasses, all sort of like biomedical, wearables, haptics, eye tracking. We use our voice and gesture to control objects. But this technology eventually will merge into within another and like into a smaller type of lighter pair of glasses. And from there, it will probably shrink even more into smart eye contact lenses. And we can see already patents from Apple and Samsung about like smart eye contact lenses. It's really exciting to see where it goes. When we reach the physical boundaries, this technology will transform again, and eventually it will be embedded in our body and will be part of our brain. And you see like amazing tech companies like Neuralink for Elon Musk, that is like, it's a great example of this new type of brain-machine interface that will extend our capabilities. It's still very invasive today, but in the future, we might be able to take like a small magic pill, with trillions of nanobot, bio-nanobot that will be in our body and give us this enhanced capability tapped directly to our brain. So I envision a world that we would be able basically to transfer our thoughts and dream into digital forms, converting imagination, to like reality, where every person can become their own creator of fantastic environments and feel actually they're more real than the real that we feel today in our like semi-flat fake reality. So that's I think where the technology goes.
Sounds exciting, and I can't wait. Thank you very much, Noam, for joining us, and we'll talk again at the end of the session. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Next, we'll look at Edgybees. Edgybees delivers augmented reality experiences to high-speed moving platforms. The company solution overlay geospatial and situational information onto real-time video feeds from any device, such as drones, airplanes, helicopters, and others. Let's take a quick look at a short video. I'm happy to welcome Adam Kaplan, co-founder and CEO of Edgybees. Hello, Adam.
Hi
Thank
there.
you for joining. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Adam Kaplan, co-founder and CEO of Edgybees. I've been a founder of a few different startups and been very happy to lead Edgybees the past few years.
Wonderful. Can you tell us more about Edgybees solution in a way everyone will understand in detail how you use spatial computing in your solution and technology?
Well, I think why don't we talk a little bit about what's happening in the world. So today you have all these rockets being shot up into the space, and you've got satellites, and we've got drones, and we've got airplanes, and we've got video and images, and we have lots and lots of data. What we believe our technology is the missing link that enables the aerospace and space economy that allows you to take all these images and all these data and bring them all together. So the company is working both in the government and commercial worlds to take all of this data and all of these images and give a very clear picture to different verticals.
Wonderful. Can you explain explain a bit more about the verticals you're working on? What type of solution are you giving to governments? I think you've been involved in wildfires in California and in hurricanes. Can you tell us a bit about that as well?
Yeah, actually, about a year ago, actually, I was in Australia. Our software was used during the Australian fires, as well as in California and so on. So what we're able to do is take real-time video and real-time data and allow you to understand what essentially it's directing traffic using video as opposed to data, so we can understand where people are trapped in buildings, where the fire lines are, where the firefighters are, and we're able to help give you that information in real time. So our software is real-time software that allows you to take this geospatial data and geo-register this on that live video to give people the ability to get the intelligence that allows them to make decisions that could take minutes or hours. We can allow you to do that in seconds.
Wonderful. So within government, you serve public safety and the like.
So yeah, in the government, we're serving public safety, also the defense industry, allowing people to make sure they're making the right decisions. Also, in terms of the commercial industries, where there's, you look, for example, we've seen during the COVID times, there you've got drone delivery where people need to deliver packages and medicines very accurately. And you also are seeing today insurance companies where previously you would have tens of thousands of adjusters to go out to make understand what they're looking at. And now they're using imagery and data to make those decisions, as opposed to going out into in our COVID world here. You're the combination of imagery and data is really the power that helps people make decisions even from their own homes.
Interesting. So you mentioned COVID and a few applications. So has COVID changed the focus of what the company is doing, or it increased their
I think
set of customers?
COVID's expanded the verticals that we're going after. Previously, we were very focused on public safety and homeland security. What we're seeing now is COVID has rapidly advanced certain technologies in allowing people to work. So as I mentioned, the insurance industry, the adjusters aren't as free to roam around and make the claims to make those things. So they're having to use imagery and data to make decisions. And of course, the drone delivery systems are becoming, it's getting closer now, because we were realizing that robotics is something that needs to be done to make those decisions as well.
Thank you. And do you see your technology being applied in the future in other industries? Do you have any plan to extend to other industries?
Well, I think we have the benefit of being a platform that allows anybody that's consuming video and data and bringing all those worlds together. So we're working in critical infrastructure, as well as the ability to take these things. So I think it's fairly common for us. So what we're doing is taking this platform and extending it to those industries that rely on real-time data, real-time video, and bring all those things together. So what we're finding is that the key markets that we're serving today are, as I said, the homeland security, insurance, critical infrastructure have been the main ones. I mean, we in the past have actually done the PGA Golf Championships. Our software can be applicable to numerous industries, but what we're finding out is that this is something that's fairly ubiquitous.
I know you've started from gaming and then you shifted to what you're doing today, and then I see as vertical shift. Does the technology change, or is that basically using the same technology over various type of verticals and use cases?
So the core technology is whether you're trying to save a person who's trapped in their building, or you're trying to be an insurance, making an accurate insurance claim, or doing all those things. It's the same core technology of geofusing data and video and allowing you to understand that. So the best analogy that what we have seen is, if people watch the Super Bowl, is, we're allowing, like in the Super Bowl, you can see the 1st and 10-yard line where people are able to understand where the people are going. We're taking that same technology and applying it to the real world. So whether you've got whether you're an oil and gas company and you've got to look at your critical structure, we can understand what that pipeline looks like underneath the ground and allow you to visualize that in real time on the video.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you for joining us, and we'll speak again at the end. NTT Docomo is #1 mobile operator in Japan. They have a partnership with Tetavi, which developed affordable and portable volumetric video capture technology that create high-fidelity holograms to deliver immersive viewer experience on any device. Here is a snapshot of the technology. I would like to welcome Dr. Mikio Iwamura-san, Director of Docomo's Device Innovation Group, and Gilad Talmon, CEO of Tetavi. Konnichiwa, Ikamura-san, and hello, Gilad. Ikamura-san, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Mikio Iwamura. I'm leading a bunch of colleagues at our R&D division. My focus is to lead device-oriented innovations. And of course, when it comes to the most advanced device today, I think it's hard to argue that it's these glasses that people wear. So, my main focus today is these XR devices, and then how best to utilize these devices, and also to prepare content production platform and distribution platform to be ready for this age.
Thank you. Gilad, hi. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, thank you very much for having me. My name is Gilad Talmon. I'm the CEO of Tetavi. I've been with the company for 2.5 years, and what we're trying to do is essentially change the way that humans interact, and change the way that we do social connectivity, and that bring humans into the digital world.
So can you describe a bit more how you use spatial computing in your technology? What aspect of that can you describe?
So, like in the presentation movie, what Tetavi does is makes a new type of video. It's called volumetric video. And we take human beings, real human activity and human interaction, and are able to port it into digital environments. And it doesn't matter if it's AR or XR or 3D gaming interactions, but the real speciality is that we do it in real 3D. The point is that as human beings, we are used to living in a 3D world. But because of technological limitations, most of our interactions, including this one, is a 2D interaction when we're interacting in digital worlds and outside the just real environment. What Tetavi does is develop the technology that will enable human beings to port into immersive environments, to create a sense of presence, to create a sense of being there. And we do it today for a professional level interactions, so for immersive music performances, for professional productions. But we're working, and I can't talk too much about it, but very soon this year, we'll be able to give this capability to just any user, to consumers. And we think that this really has the potential of changing the ways that humans interact across the digital space.
Amazing, I can't wait. Iwamura-san, can you please share with the audience your view and NTT Docomo's view on XR in general, as well as discuss a bit the partnership with Tetavi?
Yes. Well, I'm really excited about this XR, and I think it has some very essential impact. And one is that if these glasses really become mainstream, this becomes a persistent private 360 display. So this could potentially replace any other display device, because virtually the entire space itself becomes your display, and you can show anything you like. And also a second is that this technology with this the device and the network will understand the context around you. And also this device and always connected device, this will help you through the day, what you see, what you want to eat, or what you want to, who you want to communicate. It's a wearable AI that's going to assist you always, all time through the day. And if you think, if you think your daily life, you almost get like 90% of your information comes through your vision and hearing. You don't so often touch people.
Right.
So unfortunately, with XR, you cannot still touch people. Maybe that will come in next 10 years with haptics technology. But almost, I mean, 90% of things you do could be realized by XR. And with this, you can get overcome distance, overcome time. You can simulate the past or the future. You can overcome scale and so on. So I'm really excited by this XR capability. And then, of course, with Tetavi, we recently established XR Studio in Tokyo. We have the cutting edge equipment installed, and we've recently had our CEO and CTO captured, and we produced very funny videos out of them. I mean, our CTO doing some impossible rugby motion. So that was very interesting.
Amazing, amazing. I relate to the world that you described before. I hope that XR will develop there. I know some people that would like to have some assistant in recognizing people that they don't remember their name or things like that. So if they have some help surrounding them without people knowing that, that would be very, very useful. Gilad, what are potential the various potential applications? You mentioned a few, but I don't know the one that you have and one in the future for Tetavi's technology.
So I think that if we look at kind of the umbrella applications, and Iwamura-san touched on that, the broad applications is really changing the way that humans interact when they're doing it in digital spaces. And then it spans from brands interacting or artists interacting with their fan base, if it's sports interacting with the fan base or brands interacting with their customers. Imagine we saw the capability of doing the shopping in XR. Imagine if you're a small shop owner and you could bring yourself into the space so you can then interact with your customers, and your customers can bring themselves into the space, and it becomes a much more intimate selling experience in the virtual world because it's 3D and because, like Iwamura-san said, the connection there, most of it is through visual and through sound. Both are provided by volumetric video technology. It also expands the way that we create. If you think about human creativity and what TikTok and what communication technologies like LTE did to social networking, now everything is video, everything is short video, short attention span. Attention span becomes much more significant when it's immersive. When we, together with NTT Docomo, when we'll be able to provide people with the capability of creating in 3D, sharing in 3D, and distributing in 3D, it will change the way that the users generate content. It has a potential of affecting the entire social network community. If you think about it, it's a huge market. It's hundreds of billions of dollars that will be affected by XR capabilities in the hand of every user. So we really think that in Tetavi, working with our partners, we're now developing a platform that will be able, both high-end brands all the way to consumers, to generate this content. Because the platform will enable both sides, it also enables interaction between the high-end content and the user-generated content. And it has the potential of really changing the way that humans interact with the digital world, which is what spatial computing is all about.
Thank you. Great. Iwamura-san, you're the largest operator in Japan. 5G is something you're working on. And what do you think will be the effect of 5G on all this world of volumetric video and spatial computing in general?
Yes, one of the issues with XR and volumetric content is of course the bandwidth and data volume that it generates, and also if you think of motion to photon delay with and you know the device detects a motion, and then the frame needs to be rendered considering this motion,
Right.
and at the same time interacting with the network. And then if you think about this kind of like cloud rendering situation, you have to have very low latency. So 5G and XR, I think they really go hand in hand. I think with this, the bandwidth capability, data rate capacity capability, and the low latency capability of 5G with XR experience, I think we will have a next paradigm shift in the industry.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us. That's all in terms of our discussion. I'm happy to invite all the speakers back for Q&A. So the first question goes to Noam. Noam, people wanted to know, they usually in stores, people are used to touching the materials. There are aspects of tactile to clothes and other things. How do people they don't have the ability to feel the product in a visual setting? Is it something that XR can do, or what's the answer of the virtual stores to that issue?
So it's a good question. So currently there is no real abilities for people at home to kind of like feel and touch. I mean, there are a lot of like new type of technologies. They mention here haptics, different type of gloves that you can, give you sensory, or different type of wearable suits that do that. But it's more like for professional kind of like use cases today. It's not for the mass adoption yet. I think that we will see advances in this technology, but probably not in this decade. So probably it will take another 10 years until we see like more robust kind of devices that will let you do that. But what we've seen specifically the past year, that both like professional buyers that think about like, a company like Macy's or Target that buy from, I don't know, Calvin Klein or Tommy or some of those brands, they used to do it in physical showrooms. Now nobody's traveling, but they still continue to buy, all the garments and collections without actually fill that actual sample. And we see it also with consumers. They continue to buy products, even like, again, fashion, which is, we can understand, if you buy a shampoo, it doesn't really matter. If you buy furniture, you want to see it in your house. When you buy a piece of garments, you want something to touch it. But what we see, it's a significant increase, like 2x to like 10x sometimes in our product, just in the past year, that people buy more and more online clothing and product without the ability to touch it. And it seems to be okay. And it's actually increasing.
Perfect. Thank you. Iwamura-san, do you see any increased interest in XR and spatial computing given COVID? Has COVID changed anything for NTT Docomo in general or elsewhere?
Definitely. So we definitely see some increased stakes in interest in XR, especially now more in the virtual reality space. And but one of but on the other hand, we are seeing we are facing some difficulties in hosting like location-based events. So with AR and MR, okay, Docomo, our company have invested like 280 million into Magic Leap. And our original plan is to host like dozens of events to promote this experience in the past year, but we had such difficulty in hosting these events and gathering people. But now, on the other hand, there's so much boost, so much interest in like in-house, various contents that are consumed in-house, at home. So virtual reality interest is really increasing currently.
Thank you. A question for Adam. You mentioned the ways videos are being gathered, and people are very worried about privacy. They were wondering if this is something is taken into consideration by you or by the end customer.
We are not saving any of the videos, and also all of the videos that are being done are all being done by the companies. So we don't collect any data, videos. This is all being done by our customers that are flying drones, have imagery, and so on. So this is something that is not being, we're not taking private people's things. This is all being done by businesses and things like this. So we are not invading anybody's privacy, and just trying to help people.
Thank you. And a question to Gilad. Why does 3D video content is becoming so popular, and why now?
So I think that COVID has a bit to do with it, because like Iwamura-san mentioned, we're now, there's a problem going outside and interacting with people in an outside environment. I hope, by the way, there's no background noise. It started to hail outside. The second thing I think is quality. It's becoming much easier to produce. The quality is becoming much higher. And the more people get exposed to these type of experiences, the more they want to get exposed to more and more experiences. So COVID, for example, brought us immersive performances in 3D with artists. And you had millions and millions of viewers. You had artists have almost the equivalent of doing an entire tour of fans joining the virtual 3D performances, and that they used to have while touring for a year. The second thing I think is that people are used to, especially Generation Z and millennials, but it's becoming more and more popular. They're used to 3D environments through gaming. And once you see that you're able to bring volumetric video, bring real people into the gaming, into kind of 3D environments, it clicks. They see that what they're used to in gaming now works with real people in the real world. And it's a language that it's very easy for them to relate to, because again, human beings usually communicate in 3D environments. It's the way that we, we're evolutionarily programmed to think 3D. So when you see it, it becomes like, hey, why wasn't I aware of that before? So we did, for example, with the Israeli president, with President Ruvi Rivlin, we did the greeting for Israeli Independence Day, and it went viral because suddenly people had the president in their living room. They could interact with the president. Because it was a 3D experience, interaction became really like natural. You could move the phone and the president was still there. It wasn't like the video was moving like a flat TV. It was as if the real person was there. And I think that that's what made the experience go to hundreds of thousands of people within a day. So again, I think that COVID had something to do with it. But mainly I think it's the improvements in quality and the fact that it's just the natural way that humans are used to seeing things.
Great, thank you. Someone in the audience says, spatial computing tech feels like something out of Star Trek. Do entrepreneurs ever get ideas from science fiction, or is it that the tech is actually catching up to the fantasy? So anyone, I don't know if Noam or you want to try to answer that, or Noam, we don't hear you, you're on mute.
Sorry. So I'm a long time like sci-fi, geek. And it's like the chicken and egg, you know. So there are people, like amazing people that created this like movies and came with like you know, Star Trek and the Enterprise and the Matrix and many other movies, well-known movies, when people thought about like future things that might evolve, and we see it also in like in books that people like wrote like hundreds of years ago. But it's I think it starts by like thinking about something, imagine something, and then, you know, talk about it and start to fulfill this like imagination and bring it into reality. And I think that a lot of the things that we see in the movies that seems today still like a kind of a science fiction, and, you know, maybe in the far future, we're gonna experience them pretty soon. Maybe not, I don't know, teleport ourselves to a different like a spaceship, you know, in different galaxy, but many of the things that we see that looks not realistic today can be very realistic, and we're kind of like get used to new things very quickly as humans. So you know, 10 years ago, if you talked about the period today, nobody would have believed, you know, that this is where we are.
Right. Thank you. Gilad, someone was asking if your models work with Unity or other tools to integrate with gaming and other applications.
So yes, one of the things that we are doing is integration with gaming. Our models or our output integrate with Unity, and we actually have a close relationship with Unity. And not only with Unity, with the games engines. And if you take a look at what the game engines are doing, all of them are now moving from traditional gaming to making immersive content. And one of the reasons is because immersive content is becoming more and more and more sought after by the public, whether it's for entertainment or for shopping or for just human interactions. So the answer is yes. Just a short detour to the last question. I really kind of relate to what Noam said. I'm a huge sci-fi geek and Trekkie. And then a lot of the demos that we do, when we do technological demos, we have this kind of holodeck from Star Trek background, holograms on. So yes, I do think that we're starting. For me, it's fun because we're kind of moving into the future that I imagined when I was a teenager, seeing all of these shows way back when.
Great. That's all we have the time in terms of questions. I think we all got a chance to learn about various innovative implementation of spatial computing. I personally am looking forward to seeing more innovation coming out of this space, and hopefully we will get a chance next time to discuss in a more immersive setting rather than a 2D Zoom. Thank you all for attending the webinar, and thank you very much to our speaker for joining. You can find out more on our future events at events.ourcrowd.com. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you very much.